Sports Limelight. Hello, Drew.
Good evening, Bill. How's it going?
It's going great. Delighted to talk about this next topic. How's it going for you?
I'm ready to roll. I'm all pumped up.
You look pumped up.
That's because I've been listening to a certain Rush album.
Which album out of the 20 Rush studio albums are you referring to?
Bill, I'm talking about their first one, 1974 Rush.
Wow.
Yeah!
What is,
Man, what a powerful, in-your-face rockin' album.
I'm so glad to hear that. How long had it been since you'd heard it?
Over 10 years. I've listened to a few tracks throughout the years, but not all at once again. And boy, let me tell you, I'm in the mood for it.
I love what you're doing there when you listen to the whole first Rush album.
Well, hey, man, if you ever want to listen to it with me, I'll take a friend. Yes, I need some love.
And hey, say no more. I'm finding my way over there.
Awesome. So listen, the other albums are awesome, and there's a time and place, when you listen to other albums, and they're real nice and neat and cute. But this one is, boy, in your face and raw, and it's just pure Rush right there, man.
That is beautiful. There's something to be said for any band's first effort, because you can count the years in between albums, all just, randomly, 4 years in between Counterparts and Test for Echo. So you figure they had 4 years, when they created these songs. But a band's first album, it's like their whole lives, they were coming up with these songs.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure it had to be some of their best and some of their most special.
Dude, and when this album came out, Zeppelin was big, Black Sabbath, so they had that kind of a sound to it. And, I kind of gravitate towards that kind of sound, that kind of gritty blues, in-your-face stuff. So I'm just digging it right now.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Led Zeppelin. On the Beyond the Lighted Stage documentary, I think a DJ in Cleveland was talking about the first time she started playing Working Man, and people started calling up the station asking, when is that new Led Zeppelin coming out? And she told them, no, it's a new band from Canada called Rush.
That is awesome.
So it's cool to think about what kind of influences they had at the time, and certainly, those bands were a part of it. As I think Yes was mentioned as well.
Oh, cool.
I have a surprise for you at this point. I have a list that I'm looking at right now that I did a couple of months ago. I ranked all 20 Rush studio albums.
Oh, my gosh.
So we have to do it fast-paced, but if you'd like to tackle this list with me.
I am totally down for this. How did you, as a Rush fan, get your rankings?
It's really tough because they're so different. You were talking about the hardness of the first album. Clockwork Angels is, ironically, one of their hardest as well, their latest album. But a lot of them in between, it's not like apples to apples comparing the first Rush to, a lot of them in the 80s, like Hold Your Fire or Power Windows. I didn't go with what necessarily sold the best or what had the most successful singles. That, of course, those influence because I love them too, but just what was most meaningful to me. I'll go from 20 to 1 for suspense purposes. Kind of a cop-out here, but number 20, I've got Feedback. Since it's all covers, they're done really well, and I love hearing them, but, it's not original Rush songs, so I guess it was pretty easy to put Feedback.
Yeah.
You got to put something 20th, right?
I agree. It's, not even 30 minutes long, so...
Number 19, Caress of Steel.
Caress of Steel, huh?
I love Bastille Day, and Lakeside Park is good. But then the rest of it, they didn't quite get what they wanted out of The Necromancer and The Fountain of Lamneth. They would go on to wildly popular success with longer, kind of multiple part tracks, as we'll get to. But those just didn't quite click with me, and I think didn't quite click with most Rush fans as well.
Right.
Number 18, this might disappoint you, Drew, and maybe I'll have to listen to it again soon to change my mind. Number 18, I have the first Rush album.
Oh, man.
I usually just listen to Finding My Way and Working Man, although now I need to reacquaint myself because it's been probably a couple of years for me as well.
Well, hey, just like we said, each Rush fan prefers Rush in their own way, so...
Number 17, Fly By Night. So 3 of the bottom 4 are their first 3 albums to me.
Interesting.
Of course, we use Fly By Night as our outro song. I guess I didn't consider it as strong start to finish as some of the other Rush albums. Although, if I'm grading the way I've done my on my blog, my album reviews, all of these are B plus or higher. So, when you're ranking something 17th out of 20th, it sounds like a knock, but no Rush albums take a knock from me.
Yeah, it's like ranking the top 20 Super Bowl champions, They're all good.
16 Vapor Trails.
Okay.
The comeback effort after Neil Peart's family tragedies. They had 5 years off before it. Kind of disappointed with the mixing of this album. A little too muddy and grungy, but great songs.
Yeah, I agree.
I love Ghost Rider. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, I like Secret Touch.
15 Snakes and Arrows, 2007.
I'm still trying to warm up to 2000 records.
Far Cry, I think I never get tired of hearing it, but none of the other ones would stick in my, say, top 30 Rush songs.
Yeah, I like Armor and Sword.
Number 14, A Farewell to Kings.
Ooh, another early album.
Closer to the Heart, of course, is awesome. Cygnus Book 1 is there. I like Book 2 a little better.
Don't forget Xanadu, that's a good one.
Yep, Xanadu. They played that in concert a lot back then. 13, Test for Echo, 1996.
This album doesn't feature any synthesizers.
Is it the only Rush album since 1980 that doesn't?
Yeah, it's the first album in years not to feature any synthesizers.
Interesting. I did not know that. Number 12, and since I made this a couple months ago, I might want to put this one higher now. Power Windows.
Ooh, Power Windows.
I have just been listening to Power Windows in heavy rotation lately, and I think since the concert, because they brought out so many deep tracks from it.
A lot of Rush purists market this as their low album.
Wow, do they really?
Too much synth.
I can't go wrong with any of these first 7 songs. Mystic Rhythms, that's not quite my type, but man, the Big Money, Grand Designs, Manhattan Project, Marathon, Territories, Middletown Dreams, Emotion Detector. I love that they brought out 4 of these songs on the Clockwork Angels tour. Number 11, Grace Under Pressure, 1983.
Just an early warning on that one.
Yeah, you've also got The Enemy Within and The Body Electric, lesser-known ones that Kid Gloves. I love Kid Gloves as well. And they played Between the Wheels for the R30 tour.
Oh, nice.
Number 10, Hold Your Fire, 1987.
Hold Your Fire.
On this Clockwork...
Time stands still, right?
That's right. On the Clockwork Angels tour, they played Force 10.
Dude, that was a force to be reckoned with right there.
It sure was. I would have loved to hear Prime Mover as well. Good songs, though. You mentioned the Rush critics not liking Power Windows as much. I think that does hold true with Hold Your Fire also.
Yeah.
Number 9, Roll the Bones, 1991.
Hey, where's my thing, Bill? Where's my thing?
Wasn't that great in Clockwork Angels tour?
That was a cool song right there.
Yeah, that was fun. It had I think Neil had one of his drum solos in the middle of that one.
That song actually received a Grammy nomination.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And of course, Ghost of a Chance. That's a good one on there. Played
that in the Snakes and Arrows tour. It seems like all the songs on Roll the Bones are strong.
Well, that's indicative of their success with it. First top 5 album in 10 years.
Counterparts, 1993.
Counterparts, all right.
I like to think that they were influenced a little by Nirvana and Alice in Chains at that time.
Yeah, I can see that. Leave That Thing Alone also earned a Grammy nomination.
Number 7, Presto.
Presto.
Now these, Roll the Bones, Presto, Hold Your Fire, I kind of bought all 3 of these albums at about the same time in high school and listened to them a ton, so they have a lot of personal meaning to me. If I had a night with a lot of homework, I would listen to all 3 albums that would take about 2 hours. And that was perfect to get me through.
Those late 80 albums, it seems like half of Rush fans don't care for them and the other half are digging it, because of the 80s sound.
I like the different sounds of Rush. If they made the same sound for 40 years, not as fun, not as interesting.
I agree. And don't forget Show Don't Tell was the #1 song for them.
Oh, hey, awesome. They played The Pass for us.
That's right. I'm glad they didn't pass on that one.
Me too. And they played Presto during the Time Machine tour. That was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Clockwork Angels.
Ooh, you have their newest all the way up there, huh?
I didn't know where to put it for quite a while. We'll see how it lasts, with the passage of time. But right now, it is strong.
I like the Garden, and I like the Wreckers.
Oh, yeah, the Wreckers now I'm hearing a lot on the radio.
That's awesome.
Number 5, Signals, 1982.
Ooh, Signals, nice.
Subdivisions, that's an all-time great.
And Digital Man and New World Man.
Yes, and they played Analog Kid during the Clockwork Angels tour.
They have Analog Kid, New World Man, and Digital Man.
Yeah, lots of songs named after a human male, huh?
I wonder if it's the same guy.
He was the Analog Kid, then he grew up to be a digital and New World man.
Yeah.
With the help of chemistry.
Then he was losing it.
Oh, yeah. Losing what? The weapon.
Nice.
Number 4, 2112.
Ooh, 2112.
Need I say more than just 2112? It's awesome.
Let me tell you, what's the capital of Thailand?
A Passage to Bangkok?
Oh, man, you got me.
Number 3, now, you might think this one is a little high. I think at the time I made this list, I was on a kick for this album, Hemispheres, 1978.
Bill, you are right. You are a little high on this one. But I do like The Trees. That's a good song.
Another kind of personal thing for me, Cygnus X1 Book 2 is about 18 minutes. That's the perfect length for my drive to work. So I listened to that a ton this year, timing out perfectly. Because, you never want to leave a Rush song in the middle. And then
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And that was side 1. And, not for the sides thing doesn't matter here as much, but the way the time divides does. Side 2, Circumstances, The Trees, and La Villa Strangiato, perfect length for my drive home from work. So I listened to it, for a day of work there as a working man.
That is an exercise of self-indulgence, Bill.
Anyway, number 2, Permanent
Oh,
Waves,
man.
1980. Of course, Spirit of Radio, Free Will, Natural Science. I love Entre Nous as well. They played that during the Snakes and Arrows tour.
That's cool, man.
And number 1, you probably figured it out.
Let's see, number 1.
Moving Pictures. Just a classic, the most known Rush album. Would you say most people would say this is the best Rush album?
I would say yes. Moving Pictures. I think when you think of Rush, that's their quintessential album.
They played it in its entirety during the Time Machine tour for us.
Yeah, that's true. And I think with them playing that album all the way through, I think that's them telling us that that's their favorite album as well.
And I think also if you're introducing someone to Rush, you would have them listen to Moving Pictures first.
That's a good starting point, and then you can branch off from there. Either go, earlier and see how they developed into this, and then later on.
Any quibbles with the list, or?
I do enjoy more of their earlier stuff than their later stuff, which is obviously almost opposite of you.
Yeah, I've got most of the middle Rush at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of everything that centered around 1980 before or after. When I was making it, I think I also made an effort to not have complete eras dominate one part of the list or another, like all the late stuff followed by all the early stuff or anything like that.
Right.
I did still end up with groupings with the first 3 albums being near the bottom, and then Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, and Moving Pictures, which were made consecutively as my top 3.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I would like to see your list sometime. That's I've got homework to do in watching The Princess Bride, and your homework is to make a Rush rankings.
Sounds fun. I actually would enjoy doing that.
And my homework also is to listen to the first Rush album and see if I move it up the list.
Hey, that's cool, man. Don't let me tell you how to listen to your music, man.
I think what also probably it took a hit because it's the only album without Neil.
That's one thing that I think people tend to do is they figure out or realize that Neil's not in this album, and it automatically becomes not as good. Which I don't think that's fair. It's still a good album, and I like how enthusiastic Geddy's vocals are and how high-powered it is.
Yeah, so much young enthusiasm with 20-year-old Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson.
Man, that's crazy. 20 years old, and they're putting stuff out like this.
What a long time ago, and nearly 40 years later, still amazing musicians.
They're turning 60 this year, huh? Or next year.
Wonder how long they can keep doing it, but I'll never doubt them. Sports Limelight, thank you for joining us. Love talking Rush, Drew. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you soon.